Welcome to the latest podcast from Bytes. And joining me today is Ranjit from Flexera. My name is Maria Singleton. I'm head of our software optimization services. Welcome, Ranjit. If you want to give a little introduction to who you are and what you do within Flexera, that'd be really useful.
Thanks a lot, Maria. Great to be here. So I head up the FinOps advisory practice globally. That means I've got a great remit into the product roadmap. I see, I feed into it quite a lot. I also work with customers and in the market, looking at the future challenges, looking at what the analysts are saying. I spend a lot of time with customers to gather requirements, to understand potential market movements, and feed all of these in. So kind of add that overlap between product, market, and customer. So
Okay, that sounds very interesting. We're here today to talk about FinOps. That's your main area of expertise. Yep. And I know that the landscape is changing for Flexera. It'd be really helpful to get a bit of an understanding of, from legacy products, what Flexera brings to the table, and obviously Snow as well. What do you see as the biggest challenges for customers at the moment?
so I think a bit of history. So we started off with the cloud cost optimization being our core flagship product.
And what is that focused on doing? What does that deliver to customers?
So that's purely FinOps. So multi-cloud, multi-currency. It's got a very sophisticated automation engine. So it helps customers integrate into their existing landscape without too many changes. So incredibly powerful to bring the entire power of FinOps to control their cloud cost and non-cloud cost spend. So it also ingests, it has the capability to ingest non-cloud cost. It was a great product for us, but we saw the market moving. Our research showed us that managing cloud spend has been really difficult for customers. It's figured as the top problem in the Flexera State of the Cloud report for I think about 5 or 6 years. So it's been right up there. So we knew we need to focus in this space. The market has shifted quite a lot. So maybe 2 years ago, customers were quite uh, uh, happy with looking at specific costs. So that's usage costs. But over time, they've developed um, their marketplace purchases. They've developed more sophisticated products and applications built over more sophisticated infrastructure like virtualization and Kubernetes. That's just meant that managing cost using traditional approaches has been quite difficult.
Yep. And what do you mean by managing costs? What are the key requirements that kind of help customers to manage costs?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Traditionally, managing costs would be the cost allocation. So making sure that each department gets a bill. A few years ago, FinOps was seen as a technology or a digital teams problem. It's like their spend is increasing and they just charge it out, kind of. Over time, with the adoption of FinOps, the business value of cloud has been the focus. FinOps is now everybody's job. FinOps is now everybody's duty in a way, and everyone's accountable for the spend. So we see a lot of managers looking for detailed breakdowns of why they're being charged that amount, detailed breakdown of how do I optimize my spend. It's the market has been quite exciting.
And I guess one of the key drivers of that is the whole kind of development of the FinOps Foundation as well.
Yes,
it's
yes.
probably worth understanding what is Flexera's relationship with them, and in terms of accreditations of tool sets, those sorts of things.
Yep.
How does that?
So we are premier partners with the premier members at the FinOps Foundation. So being a premier member gives us the opportunity to feed into some of the research. So we participate in all of the working groups. So I personally am invested in the sustainability working group, developing the sustainability capabilities. Others from my team are involved in the scopes, which is now moving into SaaS management, so including SaaS spend, including license spend into the foundation. So we are involved in a big way in contributing a lot of intellectual property. Our product is built around the FinOps framework, and we are FinOps certified as well, as in the product is FinOps Foundation certified. Interestingly, Maria, we've got the largest number of FinOps practitioner certifications globally.
Oh,
So,
right.
so
Okay.
we just crossed 450 last week.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Oh,
yeah,
right.
so pretty much everyone in Flexera is in some way aware of FinOps. It's a core business for us. It's a core investment that we're making.
Right. Okay. That's good to know. And so when I look at kind of no, I'm saying legacy, but they obviously cloud cost is a Flexera one product, and then the SaaS capability around Snow Atlas and various other bits, they're effectively converged together now into what are more strategic products. So, and also there's been the acquisition of Spot, and could you explain where you've obviously we know the history. We've talked a bit about the legacy. Where is Flexera going with the acquisition of Spot, and where does that fit into the overall kind of FinOps message from Flexera?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are very invested in delivering the widest and most comprehensive portfolio for FinOps for our customers. The Spot acquisition has been a game changer for us. So in addition to FinOps, providing cloud cost management software, we're now able to actively enable customers to manage that spend. So, for example,
What
yeah.
does Spot do? Just
Uh,
in layman's terms,
yes.
because I'm a I like to keep things simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So it automatically selects the cheapest infrastructure for your application. So I mean, obviously it's a small portfolio in itself. So the Spot Eco solution deploys predictive analytics to ensure that a customer does not waste some of their reservations.
Okay.
And any bit of reservations that can be harnessed are harnessed using predictive analytics. So what I mean by predictive is typically the cloud native tools use history and assume that the same historic usage pattern continues.
Yep.
But the Spot Eco solution um, forecasts and predicts how some of these trends are moving,
Okay.
and shows a customer the risk associated with a commitment. So a commitment is typically 1 year or 3 years.
Yes. Yep.
So there is a risk, because if the usage is going down, then the commitment may be more than what they need. There might be other options for them to use.
And does it make this change automatically?
It can, but typically we deliver this as a managed service. So customers can talk to someone, can get some good advice, and make a joint decision. So that's on the commitment side. The really exciting part is the Kubernetes management. So that's
Yep.
workload optimization. The products called Spot Ocean and Spot Elastic Group. So Ocean works on Kubernetes, and Elastic Group does a similar activity on virtual machines. Now, typically we have customers, or we've always had customers come and ask us for the breakdown of costs within their Kubernetes cluster or within their virtualized environment. We've been able to provide that. Customers have asked for optimization recommendations. Now, it's been a very hard journey for a lot of customers, because the pace at which Kubernetes scale out during a peak load is like literally in seconds.
Yes.
So there could be a cost spike, but that cost spike is very justified because there's a huge demand on that application, whether it's a website, whether it's an order management system, and so the scaling out and the price moving up has been a real problem. What Spot does effectively is it observes the workload, it observes the Kubernetes clusters and nodes, and rather than telling a human to about optimization recommendations, it can actually go in and optimize it. So what I mean is, it joins a lot of very wonderful predictive capabilities. So it looks at it predicts what the application might use and when the next spike might come up. It looks at the historic information it's got about the spot market, and then it predicts that, and it ensures that uh, it observes in the first peak, and then in later peaks, it tries to scale out the nodes on spot on spot compute. And spot, as you know, Maria, gives a 90% discount, and it can be pulled back within 30 seconds. So,
Okay.
and in 30 seconds, literally, you could reboot your iPhone.
Right.
So,
Yes.
so there's no
Probably
point.
not actually.
Yes.
Mine doesn't reboot that fast.
But it's pointless to tell a person that, well, the spot is coming to an end, do something about your node, rather than dive in and actively manage that cluster.
And is there any downtime as a result?
No, so that's the beauty of the Kubernetes. So it can scale up and scale down without any disruption, and Spot allows you to do that.
So how does that then dovetail into the overall proposition from a FinOps perspective? How does it then? It's obviously it's an exciting new addition to it, but how does it kind of fit into the overall?
So yeah, so within the, I mean, this is just the Spot side. So it allows our customers to get actionable insights and also to take action. So it actively manages that. I mean, you could have a peak workload coming up, at night, could come up over the weekend. You don't need somebody monitoring it. You don't need a team looking at it. The platform does that for you, and that's the biggest game changer for customers, because even now,
so I guess you don't need the expertise in house as such in that respect, because it will actually provide you those recommendations.
Yes, it actively manages it. So the DevOps team have to start thinking a little differently. The teams who build the applications need to make it more resilient and more scalable, so that it can run effectively in this model. So a lot of skill gets moved into um, design and development on that side. But the active management of the Kubernetes is done by Spot Ocean. For VMs, Elastic Group does something very similar. So yeah, they help customers actually dive in, get the benefits then and there, predictably.
It sounds like there's a lot of AI involved in that.
It's a lot of machine learning, so a lot of pattern recognition, a lot of forecasting. So yes, we do use AI for forecasting. We do use AI for a few things like chatbots. So we've got what we call Flexera Assist, so customers can go in and ask questions from their tool to a chatbot interface, and it gives them all the answers. So yeah, but specifically, this is a lot of predictive analytics. Yes, we will use a lot of AI going forward, I'm sure.
Yes, and are the intentions to develop that further? Are there what's on the horizon? Because obviously things like sustainability and in fact management of AI as well, and the costs that are applied to that, and SaaS. How is that all? What's the plan?
Yes. So within our FinOps portfolio, we also have products like SaaS management. So Flexera One SaaS management helps with SaaS costs. So that's the Salesforce, Workday, that kind of tool set, because we are seeing a lot of customers, FinOps teams being asked to manage SaaS because it's some form of cloud.
Yes.
We're also seeing cloud licenses. Licenses in the cloud are much more expensive, and Kubernetes scaling out could exponentially grow that cost. So there's a lot of focus on that at the moment as well. Specific to sustainability, we have a partnership with Green Pixie. It's so we can enable a customer to have cloud cost, electricity, water, and carbon emissions on a single line at a resource ID level. So
Okay.
how cool is that? Now, customers come and talk to us about, what do I do with this information? So we are working on optimization recommendations.
And that's why you work with partners like Bytes, obviously. Because we can help you with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of this is where partners such as yourselves help us, because with FinOps coming into the mainstream, so we build really great products. Customers need these the specialisms, the specialist skills in translating all of that, in making that reality come true.
So it is a highly complex area, and it is getting busier
Yes,
as
very much.
yeah. So I guess if there's a recommendation to customers about how they would do this, because the other thing we're seeing a lot of is that SAM teams are being asked to take on FinOps competencies, and
Yes.
FinOps teams are being asked to take on, as you mentioned, SaaS is more a traditional sort of SAM
Yes.
a message. So if an organisation is looking at putting together a comprehensive model around FinOps and ITAM, what would be the recommended approach?
I think two top things. One is don't do it alone because it's a really complicated space. Um, Customers, I'd strongly advise they talk to partners, or or they even go off and look at the FinOps Foundation. There's a lot of great content, lot of stories, lot of knowledge to leverage. Um, and it's a serious investment because FinOps is, like I mentioned a bit earlier, it's not just IT's problem or digital's problem. It's now everybody's problem.
Yep.
We have AI used pretty much across all of our customers. So FinOps for AI is becoming a challenge because cost allocation becomes a problem.
Yes.
So exec sponsorship being the second point, so very very key. If it's driven by the CFOs or the CTOs, then the FinOps practitioners have a lot of wind in their sails. They can make a great impact.
And I guess if there was one thing out of all of those things to a customer you'd kind of suggest is, I guess, it's engage with organisations like both Flexera and Bytes.
Yes.
To kind of get a clear understanding of where they're trying to get to. Yep. As well, and a solution that might dovetail into that.
Yes, and I mean, the Flexera One portfolio is the broadest one in the market, all the way from ITAM to FinOps, significant overlaps. So,
But just to say that though, so what I'm seeing, and I mean my view on Flexera is really coming from the snow background, which is very much a kind of a different size of organisation would kind of engage on it from a snow perspective. And Flexera was always the multi-million-pound global organisations and quite an expensive tool set. But what I'm seeing is that these are very modular products now as well. So I don't necessarily have to have everything just to get the cloud cost or the spot element as well.
absolutely. I mean, they're all modular. They are sold as standalone products, but with the technology intelligence platform approach that we've taken, they all talk to each other. The data is available. It's interchangeable, and that brings the biggest value. So you don't need. I mean, the product does so much that you don't need to have an in-depth knowledge about FinOps. So as you mentioned a bit earlier, ITAM teams getting into FinOps.
Yeah.
It's great to have it, but the tool does a lot, and you can scale out, you can start off, but as the complexity grows, as the scope grows, then you need partners, you need specialist skills. So on cloud sustainability, we provide cost, carbon, electricity, water on a single line at a resource ID level. It helps customers to look at their trends. We are the only provider who provides it on a daily basis. So, on a daily basis, we calculate based on the customer's usage. We leverage our Green Pixie partnership to provide this information. The most important part is, for customers, it's just like an optimization recommendation for cost. So if you know your carbon's going up, it's better to take action on day 3 or 4 rather than at the end of the month. So we provide that live kind of information for customers to make decisions.
So, one takeaway from you to customers listening to this podcast, what would that be? Putting you on the spot.
I think FinOps is everyone's job, and FinOps isn't just cloud costs. So data center costs, SaaS costs, licenses, AI. There's all of this. So FinOps is a practice. It can be applied everywhere, and it can deliver tangible business results. So FinOps is everyone's job.
Thank you very much, Ranjit, and that concludes the podcast around FinOps today. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks, Maria. Pleasure to be here, and thanks everyone. See you in the next podcast.